guys, this is Kishore and you're watching Kishore Vlogs. Hope you guys are doing great. Today's video is about fighting diabetes, and the topic specifically is about something related to lifestyle or your habit, and that's smoking. There are so many people who smoke, and everybody knows that smoking is injurious to health. Usually a person starts smoking by giving company to friends or in a group or at college or school or at workplace, and then end up becoming an habit, and then consequently it's like not able to come out of it. It's an addiction, and the number of cigarettes goes up and the side effects of smoking starts appearing. So generally smoking is very bad for health. Now coming to smoking and diabetes. Now my question first is, do you smoke? And if the answer is yes, are you diabetic? And if the answer is no, your chances of becoming diabetic is 30 to 40% more than a person who is not smoking. So smoking is a reason, or could be a reason, for you to become diabetic, the type 2 diabetes. Now if you are diabetic and if you are smoking, it's a very serious concern. Please watch this video till the end. I'll explain you what could be the problems that you can face, and I'll tell you, I have been a person who started smoking at a very young age. During my college time, it was the same reason. I started smoking with my friends. It was not a habit. When I go home, I don't smoke. If it's holidays, I don't smoke. Then what happened was, after that, when I started working, I was sitting in front of computer for hours, and smoking and usage of tobacco was something which gave me the energy, or that rush of blood to the brain. I feel energetic and I work, and again after half an hour, 1 hour, I feel low. Then I have a cup of tea and then have a smoke, and again work continuously for say 8 to 10 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours. Cigarette was one of the power that helped me to work for long hours, and subsequently it was killing me or spoiling my health very badly. I'll go into details of how I quit smoking towards the end of this video. Before that, I'll explain you what could be the problems that you could face related to diabetes. As I mentioned earlier, smoking could be a reason for you to become diabetic. Smoking, in fact, increases the blood glucose level or spikes the blood glucose level if you are diabetic, and even the sensitivity of insulin could be reduced because of smoking. So overall, like, it spoils the health of a normal person. Even in case of diabetic, it's like the harm is more, because already being diabetic, your organs are getting damaged, your cells are getting damaged. Again, the smoking is doubling it or tripling it because you are already diabetic. So if you're diabetic, you should think about quit smoking. When I say smoking, I mean usage of tobacco. It's the nicotine in the tobacco and the other chemicals in the tobacco which are really causing harm to your health. See, the bad effect of smoking, first thing is the health. Second thing is social effects also when you smoke. If you're smoking in public, nowadays it's illegal to smoke in public in India, but in many other countries it's not yet. You are also harming other people's health. You're not doing good for others. The third thing is, like, when you smoke and when you are walking into a meeting room, the other people gets the smell of the smoke from your breath or your clothes or sweat smell. So it's a nuisance for others also. You need to think about others also. So smoking is in all way bad for your health, bad for everything. And if you ask me, are there any advantages of smoking, I just googled it, and it came around 4-5 things as advantages. But let me tell you, these advantages are nothing before the kind of damages that you're going through when you're smoking. So smoking is really bad for health. It's not a new thing, I know. You all know, but it's time to quit smoking or usage of tobacco. So I'll tell you the story about how I started smoking. To be very frank, I was very curious about smoking when I was a kid, even when my relatives or friends or my father's friend. My father was never a smoker. Nobody in my house was smoking, but I used to see people smoking and I used to be curious about this and I wanted to try it. And I felt that it was stylish, it was great to smoke. And when I started college and I got the opportunity to smoke, I started smoking. So whenever morning I go, then first thing with a gang of smokers, I'll go have a cup of tea and smoke. Breaks, I'll smoke and come home. Before coming home, I'll wash my mouth and hands so that my mother or nobody at home can come to know. But unfortunately, one day I forgot to throw the cigarette or smoke the cigarette. It was in my pocket, and my mother came to know. She didn't tell me anything. My father called me and told that on the cover of the cigarette there is something written, the statutory warning that cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Keep that in mind. Nothing else he told. But that didn't really make me understand, or I didn't feel that I should not smoke. But it never became a habit, and I was not a regular smoker. I was just a social smoker. I never used to buy cigarette and sit alone and smoke. But when I started working, again I met friends who were smoking, and during work we used to sit and do coding for long hours. That was my software job, and it was like cigarette was a way to give energy or the boost or the rush of blood into the brain, which helped in sitting long hours and working. Tea, cigarette, it was like to have a puff or a cigarette. I used to go and have a cup of tea, then a cigarette, and it used to go on like hours and hours, and like I never knew that how many number of cigarettes I was smoking every day. And finally I felt that I was really addicted to this, and sometimes I used to end up having severe cough, and I even felt that I couldn't even take a single puff of cigarette. But still, after when I get better, I go back to smoking, and many times I thought of quitting smoking, because it was like it was, I felt that it was not good. I started feeling that it was not good. After some time, when you smoke severely, you yourself will start realizing that this is not good and you need to get rid of it. Most of you who smoke would be thinking about it, this is not good, I should get rid of it. Now I'll tell you how I quit smoking. The first thing I tried was to reduce the number of cigarettes. I started to reduce to half, then a little more, less, and one day I could manage without smoking, but the next day I started smoking again. The cravings or the feeling is very different. So I couldn't stop it. It was like many times I tried to quit smoking, but never worked. Then one of my friend was using other form of tobacco, the pan parag kind of thing. So I thought of trying that to quit smoking. So I tried that. I started using chewable tobacco instead of cigarettes. But the bad effect is the same. It doesn't go to lung, but the nicotine is going into your blood, and it is really creating all the harmful things in your body. So any form of tobacco is bad for health. To be frank, I those days was not into doing so much of research or studying things about health, and I was never a health freak. I was just a person wanted to just go on and do things day by day. So when I was diagnosed diabetic, I was a very heavy smoker, and I didn't stop smoking. My doctor told that smoking is not good for health, but I never cared for that. I continued smoking. So now the situation was, I was smoking in between, I was taking different forms of tobacco, and lots of nicotine was going into my blood, and the damages were really severe. My blood glucose level was going really bad. Even after medication, even after taking even all kinds of care, it was not working well for me. And I don't know, one fine day I just decided that I am going to quit all forms of tobacco. I just stopped it. I didn't think about tapering it. I didn't think about I didn't try anything else. I didn't go to a doctor. It was just my will. I told, this is the end. I cannot continue smoking. I want to be healthy. I want to have a better life. That was something, a strong decision, a willpower that I had taken. First day, I was like, I did some preparation. I'll tell you what are the things I did. First thing is like, you should be away from people who are smoking. I didn't spend time with people who were smoking, or I was like, in fact, telling them to quit smoking. We actually, one of my friend who was smoking with me also tried with, but ultimately failed. He's still smoking. So we just decided we will not smoke, and I just was very strong about that. I started when I get that craving in the mouth. So I started eating something. I started eating more, and believe me, it took me almost 10 days for like to be had to be very strong. Tried different things. I tried like the somph or the cinnamon bark or cardamom, clove, these kind of things, fresheners in my mouth. Never tried nicotine patches or nicotine um, any forms of nicotine. It was just like cutting off. That was the way I quit smoking, and it's now more than 10 to 12 years I think I have not used tobacco. So if you want to quit smoking, you have to do it in a single day. That's the best way I feel. So let me tell you, you cannot be a person who can be a moderate smoker. Moderate smoker in the sense, okay, I smoke only 2 cigarettes a day. Even 2 cigarettes a day is not good for your health. If you're diabetic, 100% stop all the forms of tobacco. It's never good for your health. You will find a big difference in your blood glucose level or in your health when you quit smoking. I can assure you, I felt it. I felt like working out. Because when I used to smoke, I never felt like doing exercise. Even I used to get tired. My lungs used to be very weak. So after quitting smoking and use of tobacco, I became stronger. I started working out. I did bodybuilding. I regularly started going to gym, and now it's like, as I told you, 10 to 12 years. I'm happy. I tell everybody who use tobacco or smoking in front of me, quit smoking. Don't use tobacco. Tobacco is not going to give you anything. It's just a temporary rush of blood into your brain, and that just lasts for say half an hour, 1 hour. You'll need the next cigarette to get that rush again, and what happens is you cannot do normal things without that rush. Believe me, when I quit smoking and I was doing coding or writing or none of my work, I couldn't get concentration. So your concentration will go, you will be restless. But you should be very strong. Never say, okay, I'll try for once. Then it's gone. You cannot do it. Whatever difficulties you face when you are deciding to quit smoking, you have to bear with it. As I told you, be away from the people who are smoking. Be very close with your family, friends whom you can spend more time, and the thought of smoking could be avoided. Eat something, fresheners, or what happens is many people, when they try to quit smoking, they gain weight because they eat a lot. When a person is continuously smoking, he tries to skip meals also. So when you stop smoking, you start eating more, but that shouldn't affect your blood glucose level if you are diabetic, and even gain weight. So it's just matter of 1.5 months. If you are able to do that, definitely smoking has psychological or emotional dependence. I don't say that it has a lot of physical dependence, like severe drugs or alcohol. So hope this video is helpful for you guys. Never smoke. Smoking is bad for health. So when I say smoking, I mean any form of tobacco. This gutka and all those stuffs are really bad. And now the good thing is you don't see too many people smoking in public in India. That's really good. But many other countries, it's not like that. So guys, share your experience on how did you quit smoking. Are you still smoking, or do you want to smoke for any reason? Are there any advantages of smoking? Definitely. See, you may temporarily say, okay, when you have a smoke you feel good. I used to think like that, but believe me, if you don't smoke, you are always like with full of rush or an energy. You will sleep well, you will wake up well. Totally the health, your life will change when you quit smoking. So that's all for now. Quit smoking, don't use tobacco, be healthy, Have a wonderful 2020.